Welcome to the Stagecode podcast with Paris and Beck.
This podcast is all about bodybuilding, raw and unfiltered, from off-season to stage day and everything in between.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Stagecode podcast. We have a very exciting episode today, but to start off, we are still going to do our highs and lows and prep update. So should I introduce Sophie now? No, we'll do that. You're just going to awkwardly sit there. You guys have to wait to see who she is.
Go.
Okay. I actually have no idea what my highs and lows are. I'm going to say my highs would be, I don't know, business is going really well. So that's pretty good. Love that. And my low, yeah, it's been actually pretty good. I did hurt my back last week, which was not very fun. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. That was sucky, but it was all right after like 2 or 3 days. So that's going to be my low. I had back pain for a little bit, but now I'm good.
My low would probably be my skin. I don't know. I just keep getting all these blind pimples.
That's annoying.
And like blind pimples really hurt.
Yeah.
I think it's just like
the deep ones that are just,
yeah,
and like
you can't squeeze them. You just have to wait until they come to a head. And then my high would probably be that I had 2 high carb days. So that was fun.
Yeah, can that be my high as well? That I got to feed you food.
Yeah, I got to have honey on my crumpets because you know. I had honey taken away. I haven't had it for a few weeks now.
Yeah, it was probably like 4, maybe.
Yeah, so that was really nice. But now we're back. We're back down. We're back on the grind. I'll do like a rapid fire prep update, and then we can introduce Sophie. So I'm currently.
She's like, okay.
I'm currently 2 weeks out from show, which is wild scenes. Update from my heart. My Holter monitor essentially showed nothing, which is not ideal. I mean, it's good that it's wasn't anything wrong, but I don't really know what's wrong because I'm still having chest pain. So I'm seeing a cardiologist, but I have to wait until the end of July. So I literally have no answers for you. I'm sorry. But yeah, we did a little high carb moment there for a minute just to see kind of how my body looked. And it was good. Like my body looked really full.
I was very happy with how
I felt good,
yeah.
Which was nice. I didn't feel bloated or anything like that, fluffy, which was nice. And now we're just grinding until we start peak week, really. Yeah. I'm just doing as many steps as humanly possible, 15K minimum. But if I can do more, if I could do 30K a day, I would. But that's
we also don't
unless I walk 24 hours a day.
We also don't want to end up with other.
So yeah, I'm doing 15K minimum, but I'm trying to do that a bit more just to compensate the fact I'm not doing cardio. But yeah, next week
bounce back down to.
Yeah, and I'm drop them again. I didn't even care. I'm just I only have really 1 week to grind. So I'm give me 1 meal a day and I'll make it work. No, I'm kidding.
We are not getting a meal a day.
But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. The next prep updates will be exciting because it'll be shows and sort of stuff. But we'll introduce Sophie.
Hey,
our first ever guest on the podcast. Woo!
This is actually episode 21, I'm pretty sure. So that's exciting. Because remember last week we were talking about episode 20? And we're like, oh yeah, we'll be there soon. That was it. It was episode.
Okay, so 21.
Yeah.
21 and our first guest.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Sophie is my sister. So she was kind of obligated to come on here whether she wanted to or not.
Yeah.
But she gets the privilege of being our first guest.
Woohoo!
So Sophie, you have to give us your high and your low as we do every single week.
Okay.
Start with your low.
Okay.
I always like to start with the low.
Start with my low. So I'm currently training for a marathon, but it's not going as planned. I'm having quite a lot of knee pain.
Yeah.
I think I need to go to the physio and get that checked out. So yeah, that's probably my low.
When is your marathon?
It's in 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you still got a bit.
Yeah. Definitely get that sorted now though.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And high of the week would probably be I'm going to see a wedding venue tomorrow, which is very exciting. It'll be the first venue that me and my partner are going to look at. But
that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Definitely good. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Showing us up on our.
I'm I got to have honey.
Yeah. And I'm I work.
She's I got a big shiny rock and I'm going to look at getting married.
Our time will come.
Oh, anyway. So we've got
Anyway, my time will come.
anyway. I don't know when, but it'll
Girl,
come.
I am waiting.
Yeah.
For you and me both.
You get a rock on your finger right now, Paris, and just slip right off.
No,
yeah.
actually, I'd be like, resize, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason we got Sophie on is she's going to talk a bit about her journey with endometriosis. As we know, like, well, some of you may know that endometriosis is like it's quite common. Like it's very
So
common.
common.
Yeah.
Amongst women, but it's something that is not overly researched or not super well known about, even though it is so common. It's kind of just, I feel like, a word that gets thrown around, but then not kind of a lot of people really know sort
Yeah.
of what that means or what it means for women that have to go through that endometriosis journey. So do you want to just like kind of start from like
Just give us a bit of a
how
rundown.
old were you like when you
Yeah.
first got your period?
So I first got my period when I was 11.
Oh, that's so young.
Yeah, it was pretty young. I remember when I got it, it was like summer and it just like came in my bikini and I was like, oh my God, Mom, what's going on? And then she was like, got your period. So it was quite funny. Her and I went up to like the local supermarket, grabbed some liners, and I basically just like went through them straight away. And I was like, Mom, like, is this normal?
Yeah,
And
like what's happening?
what's
Am I dying?
happening?
Yeah.
And my mum and my older sister have very light periods, very painless periods, and so it was kind of a new experience for them, I guess. And I ended up spending like the next 2 years having like 14-day periods, super uncomfortable, super painful, super heavy. And then I think when I was around like 14, Mum was like, let's just go to the doctors and see what we can do. And they kind of just like I went in and explained, yeah, I get really like long, heavy periods. And it was just like, let's put you on the pill.
Immediately.
Do you
It's the
remember, was it
answer.
like a male? Do you remember if it was a male or a female? Or you
I
can't
don't
remember?
remember. I think it was probably a female because at that time I was probably like, I
You were
want to
so
talk
young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to a man about that.
Yeah. Do you
So-
remember what pill it was that you were put on?
No, I don't. Like, yeah, like I
Just-
have no idea. I literally just went in and was like, sure,
Yeah.
I'll take the pill, whatever. So yeah, I started taking that and I thought it was like fantastic at first. I was like, oh, cool. Like I'm like barely even getting my period now. Like this is great.
And you're only 14, which like that's so young.
Yeah.
to-
Yeah. And I didn't know like what it was doing to my body at all. Like I had no info, anything like that. And I probably took that for like maybe 2 years and I just felt like my moods weren't great and I didn't really know what I was actually taking. So I ended up stopping like taking it. And, I kind of went back to like the really long periods, the really painful periods. And then it was actually my dad, which was really random. He suggested that I go to a naturopath.
I remember that.
Wow.
Which was a bit like woo woo and like so out of
Out of
pocket.
Out of
Yeah.
pocket for our dad.
For
that's
him to
sure.
suggest that. I think
Yeah.
maybe he'd been talking to like guys at work and thought, suggested a naturopath. Let's go see a
He really
naturopath.
did he know what it was? Like
A
what it,
naturopath?
yeah.
I think so. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I thought that was really sweet that he wanted to help. So yeah, we went to a naturopath and I was like just talking to her like, diet and like what I was experiencing. She ended up giving me like all these different supplements to take. And I was taking them, but like they were really big and they were really gross and I just
Probably
didn't.
expensive.
Yeah, they were expensive. And
You're a teenager, like
Yeah.
you don't care to be like, yeah, take these supplements daily.
Yeah. And I also felt kind of bad because of how expensive it was and dad was paying for it. So I just kind of like brushed that off. And then I got to like 17 and I got into like my first relationship and mum was like, okay, we need to get you back on some sort of contraception. So, back to the doctors. Went as for a different GP to whoever I'd seen previously, kind of went through the story again of like, yeah, I get really like painful periods, like really long periods. I don't really want to take the pill because I've been on it before. This GP suggested the Implanon. So I had that put into my arm. And again, I thought it was amazing. I was like, oh, cool. We're going back to like painless periods and all that jazz. But that had a 3-year sort of expiry date. And I got to about like the 2-year mark and I was just kind of spotting like continuously for like 6 months. And I ended up also getting like pain in my arm. And I was like,
I remember you not like, you said that you didn't feel like right. in yourself.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
said I think I remember you saying it made you feel like you gained weight as well?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you were like, "I don't like the feeling of this
Mm.
Was that
in me."
after about 2 years?
Yeah, it was probably, like,
Yeah.
around the 2-year mark, so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get this taken out," and getting it out was, like, low key traumatic because my muscle had, like, grown over
Around
it.
it,
So I
yeah.
ended up taking, like, 2 nurses and a doctor to, like, get it out, and I actually had to get, like, stitches there.
Oh my
So
god.
that was
That's
shit.
traumatic.
Yes. So after that, I wasn't in a relationship anymore, and I was just like, "I just wanna see what my body's doing naturally." So, like, at this point in time, I didn't even know endometriosis was a thing. Like, I was just kind of like, no idea what was going on with my body.
Well, I'm assuming that doctors never even said that
No,
word. They just
no.
thought like,
Like, any GP that I would
"Oh,
see, it
that's
was never
normal to have period
yeah,
pain. Take
never
some Panadol."
never brought up. I
Yeah.
just thought like, "Wow, maybe I've just got a really low pain tolerance, and I just need to deal with this." Um, so yeah, went just, like, full cold turkey, wanted to see what my body was doing. I wasn't getting, like, the 2-week-long periods anymore, but it was still really heavy, really painful. I'd take time off work. I'd sit in the shower crying, like, being like, "This
Proper
pain is, like,
debilitating.
so bad."
Yeah.
Um, I remember one time I nearly fainted at work, and Paris actually came pick me
Mm.
up because I was just in so much, like, pain, and Paris took me to a GP that I'd never seen before. And I was like, "I'm just in so much pain, like, what is going on? What is wrong with me?" And she just, like, totally dismissed me, like, left the appointment, like, crying, and I was like, "I'm not getting anywhere with this." And then I actually had a girlfriend who had endometriosis, and she had just had surgery for it, and she was kind of telling me about it, and I was like, "Wow, I've actually, like, never even heard of this before," but it kind of sounds like
Fitting
what
the yeah,
what
fitting what
I'm
you're
going
going through.
through.
Yeah.
But I didn't really explore it any further than that. I was just kinda like, "Wow, yeah, maybe I have that too." Um,
Because I feel like it's so hard to kind of take that step and explore it because like I've already been to like the doctor and every time they just tell me like,
yeah,
"Oh,
they
it's
just
it's
dismiss it.
normal." They go, "Let's go on the pill." And it's
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I've kind of already been through this before."
yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, you've been dealing with it for so many years." So
Mm.
it's like, "Oh, like it's it's debilitating, but it's like you think it's just a part of your life." Like that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
every doctor said. Like
yeah,
it's relatively normal, so you just have to deal with it.
And,
yeah,
like,
and
why had no one mentioned it before?
yeah. And, yeah, it was kind of just like I'd go through because I was getting my period probably every, like, 3 weeks, and I was just like, "Oh, it's just, like, a few days of, like, pain, and then it'll go away, and then I'll be fine for a couple of weeks." Um But then it was, like, after dad passed away, um, I was having, like, really poor bowel movements, and I was starting to freak out. I was like, "Maybe I have bowel cancer as well." So I went and saw a new GP again and was kind of explaining, like, I'm having, like, real issues, like, with my bowel movements. I just want to investigate it further. Like, I've just had a sudden death in the family. Like, I just wanna make sure I'm all okay. So I started like a food diary with this GP. She was really great, wanted to like hear me out. Did some tests and everything. Um, Found out I was all okay. She thinks it was like mainly just like the amount of stress I was under. I just like wasn't going to the toilet.
Yeah. Your body just is in all sorts of strife, I think.
Yeah.
Terrain.
Yeah.
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 And then I started to sort of talk to her about like my periods as well, because I was like, "Oh, okay, she's actually, like, trying to help me, maybe I can get something from her." Was, like, talking to her about it, I was like, "I've just felt dismissed, I've heard about endometriosis, like, how do I go about finding out if that's what I have, or if is that something that I could have?" So she ended up referring me to a gynecologist, but she did warn me that it would be, like, a really long wait time because I was going into the public system. So I had that referral. I called up the gynecologist and was like, "When can I get an appointment?" And it was like a 9-month wait. But I was like,
Put me
whatever,
on the
just
list.
put me on the
Yeah.
list. So then I had an appointment with the gynecologist, like, again, explained everything with her. She was really great. And she said, "Look, I'd like you to go get some tests. I'd like you to get an internal ultrasound. So, like, that's like up inside, have a look around, and I'm going to put you on the wait list for a laparoscopy." But she did also say long,
Again, long
long
way.
wait
Yeah.
time. So I went and had the test, went and had an internal ultrasound, and they can't actually like diagnose you without surgery, but they just wanted to run everything and see if anything was like looking out of the ordinary. And then I just waited and waited and waited. And then I finally got the call like probably 14 months later saying, "Hey, we have a spot for surgery. Can you come and get it done?"
Oh, right.
So I was like, "Yep,
Yep, sign me up. Yeah,
let's
yeah.
do
You know how
this."
long I've been waiting? That's crazy. 14
Yeah.
months.
And did you have to pay anything
No,
at this point?
no. So if I was to go through private, I would have had to pay for everything. The only thing that I had to pay for was the internal ultrasound that I had. But otherwise everything was covered um by Medicare and
And it's probably the long wait though, right?
yes,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It did get to the point where my mum was like, maybe you should just go the private.
Pay,
I
Because
don't
you're
know.
still like in
Because
pain at this point.
yeah, and
You're
it's just
still
like
dealing with it.
just waiting and waiting. Um, so yeah, that was like 2 years ago. I got like the call up and it was like, "Hey, we've got a spot for you to come in for surgery." Actually, no,
No, it
it was like a year
a
ago.
year ago. Yeah, because you were
Yeah,
living in Sydney.
yeah, yeah. So I had the laparoscopy in August of last year. And going into that surgery, I was really like apprehensive because I'd been doing like a lot of research and like looking on TikTok, and I'd seen lots of girls being like, "Oh, I had a laparoscopy and there was nothing." And I was like, if I come out of this surgery and there's nothing there, I'm gonna be like, well,
Now what?
am I crazy? What's my next step?
And you've been through years of like waiting for that
Waiting.
Yeah.
moment
Yeah.
to then be told. Because I've seen it too. Like with you being around, I've seen a lot more of endometriosis stuff like
Mm,
popping up on my feed. And I've seen like how heartbreaking it is for these girls that go like 8 years like waiting to
mm,
be diagnosed and thinking I've got every symptom of endometriosis.
yeah.
And they go into the laparoscopy and the
Nothing
doctor's
there.
like, hey, you don't have endo. So
Mm,
it's like, what's
what's
next?
next?
And I
Yeah.
remember you being super fearful that
Mm,
that was going to be the case.
yeah. So yeah, went into the surgery like very, very anxious. And I just remember coming out of the surgery and like I was very groggy and I was like, the first thing I wanted to know, I was like, did they find anything? And like the nurse confirmed, she was like, yes, they found endometriosis. And I was like so relieved.
100%.
Like, there was a part of me that was like, "Oh, maybe it would be better if I didn't have it," because I know there's a lot of, like, fertility struggles with having endometriosis, and I've always wanted to be a mum. But at the same time, I was like, "I just want this diagnosis so
Yeah.
I know that I'm not crazy," and, like, for the last, like, 12 years that I've been going through this, like, it's it's legit. There's something there.
12 years of going through until you actually have an understanding of
Mm.
why you're in
Yeah.
so much
Because
pain.
you were 11 when you first got your period,
Mm.
and then you were what,
26 when I
26
had
when
the
you had
surgery.
surgery?
Yeah, so, like, yeah, nearly 15 years.
Because I think I researched the average endometriosis diagnosis takes like 7 or 8 years or
Yeah,
something
Mm.
it's
like that,
Yeah.
which is just
Ridiculous.
crazy.
Um, so yeah, came out of the surgery and I went and met with the gynecologist like a few weeks post surgery to kind of discuss like what severity my endo is.
What do they actually do in the surgery?
So essentially, like they do a keyhole, and at first it is just sort of like, let's go in and
Look.
have a look
Yeah.
around and see what we can find. In like minor to moderate cases, if they find stuff, they will remove what they can.
Yeah.
But it also depends on like who you are. Like I went into the surgery explaining to my gyno that I do want to have children. And if they go like too deep and intense with the surgery, they can do more harm than more
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
Um, so when I spoke with my gynecologist post surgery and she was confirming like that there was endo and like where they found it, um, there was some on one of my fallopian tubes, which she said I didn't want to touch because your fallopian tubes are obviously very important when it comes to trying to conceive and have a baby. But she said like you can definitely like still have children, like your like ovaries look good
Oh,
and
yeah, that
um
that would have been relieving as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, but she's like, what I saw on like one of your fallopian tubes, I've still got another one that's super viable and healthy, super good. But she said I just didn't want to touch it and like break it or block it further or anything like that. So um yeah. still obviously have the endometriosis, but now I'm taking a medication called Zane, and it's basically just sort of stopping me from ovulating because when you ovulate, you release a lot of estrogen, and that's sort of what promotes the growth of the endometriosis. So up until I'm sort of like at the time where I want to start trying for kids, then I will stop taking that.
Yeah.
Just so that I'm not sort of like
Just having
just
having that constantly kind of grow, for lack of a
like
better
growing
word.
even
Yeah.
more, and then kind of like the surgery being a little bit pointless
Yeah.
because they've removed what they could, and
Yeah.
it's just all grown back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So then from that, do they like, is there any reason to go back in and see if it has grown or anything like that? Like, say, for example, once you start to try for
Yeah,
kids.
only if like when I'm trying to conceive and I'm having a lot of issues, and obviously we've ruled out that it's not like my partner's
Yeah.
that's having the issue, then
Possibly.
possibly go back in. But she said she'd rather avoid another surgery until I'm kind of finished having
Have kids.
children.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so fair. Yeah. So then in the meantime, what's like the management besides the estrogen blocker?
Mm.
Do you have any other management that they've kind of prescribed for you
Not
or recommended even?
Not really, no. I mean, like it's funny because like exercise is great for periods and period pain, but then at the same time, like real high intensity exercise can give me like a flare up. So and like I do love like running and everything like that. So it's a bit of kind of
Says
like
the marathon
yeah.
trainer. She's like, yeah,
That's not
kind of
exactly
do it.
low
Yeah,
intensity.
yeah.
So like exercising and everything, and like obviously like having a healthy lifestyle and healthy diet like helps. But as for like doctor recommendations for what I can do, like no, not really.
Yeah. Did you kind of, sorry,
No,
it's
you go.
last question. I was gonna say, did you kind of come out of that feeling a little bit lost, or were you like, okay, this is a good enough plan for me to kind of execute?
No, I definitely felt like I had like more of a plan and more guidance. Like definitely pre-surgery, I felt very like lost and
Yeah.
like I don't know what my body's doing. I don't know what I should do. I was very worried, like, can I even have children? Because
Yeah.
like my
And you
first
kind of just like suspected, like, oh, I probably have endometriosis,
mm,
but you can't say for a fact
no.
that you do until you have that surgery.
Yeah.
So it's like you've got more clarity now, I
Mm.
think.
And like it's enabled me to like do more research and understand what's going on with my body. Because I just remember the first time I heard about endometriosis, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't have children then," because that
Immediately.
was
Yeah.
kind of like the stigma that was
Mhm.
around it. Like,
Absolutely.
and definitely over the last like 5 years in the process of me getting diagnosed, there's been a lot more research on it and a lot more like you hear about it a lot more, which is
I've
really
had
good.
that many clients that have either got endo or
Mm.
like PCOS,
Yeah.
and they fall pregnant very, very
Yeah.
easily. Obviously, that's not the case for everyone,
Yeah.
but it definitely doesn't mean, hey, you can't have kids, which is,
Yeah.
like you said, the stigma around that
Mm.
is crazy. And it'd be immediate, like, especially if it's something that you've wanted for so long,
Mm.
it'd be something that's just very much at the forefront of your being, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you feel like better now after the surgery? Like, have you noticed improvements from the surgery?
Yeah, I definitely have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like period pain wise and like
Yeah,
length of period,
yeah,
things like
like,
that.
obviously, I am taking this medication, so a lot of it is a bit unknown, like, I don't fully know how much of a difference it's made unless I've stopped taking that medication, but I definitely, like, feel different, so, yeah.
And so besides like the exercise, I guess it kind of is a little bit tricky at the moment because it's obviously very tailored to what you currently are doing training wise.
Mhm.
What have you changed anything in your diet? Have you tried to implement like lower stress strategies, anything like that? Like to try and kind of, I guess, manage as best you can?
I guess yes and no. I guess just kind of having the knowledge that I have also helps a lot
Mm,
because then I kind of know how to manage things better. Where before I was just kind of like guessing.
yeah.
I was just like, oh, maybe it's endo, so maybe I should do this.
Yeah.
But now I kind of know that,
A lot more solidified.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Mm. She'll
I probably do.
think of them when she's
Yeah.
editing.
Yeah, I will. I'm like, damn, I should have asked that. Yeah, that's crazy. So I guess, yeah, moving forward, like when you do, like you would have to kind of have the doctors given you like a timeline of like, okay, when you need to start, thinking about having kids and all that kind of stuff, and then okay, we need to then make this much beforehand, and then this much you need to try. Like, have they kind of set that out a little bit, or it's just kind of like when the time comes? Like, is it? 'Cause I would imagine for a medication, especially that alters your hormones,
Yeah.
to be out of your system for long enough to then not have an effect, there
Yeah.
needs to be some kind of a time frame, right? So, have you
Yeah.
been told all of that yet, or is it?
So my gyno said, like, when I'm wanting to start having children, she said, like, stop taking that medication and you'd want to give it at least 3 to 6 months before you fully know that, like, the systems are working again properly. And then she said, give it a good, like, 12 to 18 months of trying before you start worrying that, like,
Something's wrong.
something's wrong.
Yeah,
And
or I
it's,
can't have kids, or yeah,
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 yeah. But, like, I've also had, like, my egg count and, like, I've got plenty of eggs, which is a good thing to know as well.
absolutely.
And I've also definitely thought about, like, egg freezing and things like that in the future if I was to enter, like, my early 30s and still not have a child.
Yeah,
Just because, like, what's going on inside there is, like, basically, like, a toxic zone for my eggs.
mm,
So if I could do egg freezing, get them out of there, know that they're all viable, then that's definitely something else I would do.
yeah, absolutely. And then as far as like, I'll go into like body image as well, because
Mm,
obviously a lot of our listeners probably deal with that, and
yeah,
even like things like you mentioned before that you did feel like you gained a little bit of weight.
yeah.
How do you find having that kind of like perception of your body? A lot of people have this belief that you can't lose weight if you've got, endometriosis or polycystic ovary
Mm,
syndrome. I think it's called something different now. I can never remember it.
PM.
PM,
yes.
Or something.
something,
Yeah.
yeah. How do you kind of feel like you're able to maintain your weight? Do you feel like it fluctuates a lot? Do you have trouble kind of coming back down if you did? I mean, you're a
Mm.
pretty petite little person.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Like, I think that even for you, if you were to put on a little bit of weight, it probably would feel like a lot more than what maybe
Yeah.
other people might have. But
Yeah.
how did you kind of feel with maintaining a healthy body weight and healthy body composition as well?
Mm. I definitely think when I was younger, like, I was always very, like, fit and healthy, like, played a lot of sport. Um, my parents always fed us, like, a very healthy diet. Um, but yeah, I definitely think as I got into, like, my early 20s and, I was drinking more and didn't really care what I was putting into my body as, like, I grew my knowledge more, um, started exercising more. I don't know.
No, no, yeah, no, yeah, no,
I
no.
think that you feel like now, like post knowing that you have endometriosis, like more confident in yourself now than you
Yeah.
did before. Like,
Yeah.
because
Like, I
like you said,
know.
I think when you were like a young teenager, like
Mm,
when I was around you when you were like 17, 18, 19, like, yeah, you said you didn't know what was going on in your body. So
mm,
you're like, oh, like it doesn't matter like what I'm putting into myself
yeah.
because who cares? Like, it's not getting any worse. It's not
Mm,
getting any better. Like what I'm experiencing endometriosis wise.
yeah.
Whereas I feel like now it's like clicked in your head, like, oh, I know what's going on in my body. So I know
Mm,
that I have to like exercise to feel good, to fuel
mm,
my body to feel good inside. Because if I don't, then it could potentially make this thing like this endometriosis worse.
yeah.
But I feel like you have more self confidence now
Oh, yeah, yeah.
than what you did like when you were first experiencing it.
Mm,
Like, and I think, you had a bit of time there, like during your surgery where you didn't, like, just after your surgery when you didn't really feel like yourself.
yeah.
You were a bit like,
Yeah, I was very
because you felt like you lost
very
muscle
down
mass
and
and you were
depressed.
down and you
I
felt
couldn't
like,
exercise,
yeah,
couldn't
you
do
couldn't
anything. Yeah.
exercise, you couldn't feel like yourself.
Yeah.
But now I think your self confidence is only going to get better
Mm,
because you can exercise now and like you're back to your proper self.
yeah.
You know what's going on in your body.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know, like me right now, like I
Mm.
don't really know what's
Mm,
going on, so it's making me feel a bit
Oh,
deflated.
mm,
absolutely.
But even if you can't fix the issue, even just having clarity around
Mm.
what that issue is
It
can
can
make you feel better. So then you essentially I feel like when you feel better, you look better. Like you
100%.
look
yeah.
brighter as a person
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
yeah, you
Yeah,
feel better about yourself.
yeah.
Um, but do you feel like I feel like I want you to talk quickly a little bit about like when you actually had your surgery
Mm.
and like after your surgery, just to like put that awareness out there to people. Like you didn't feel like yourself. Like it's not gonna happen straight
Oh,
away. Like
yeah. Yeah.
there's definitely a recovery time there.
Mm,
And you were kinda like not having regrets, but you were like, I feel like crap, like I don't feel good. Like when am I gonna feel When am I going to feel
Yeah.
better now that
Yeah.
I've had this surgery?
So I came out of the surgery and like, as I said before, I was like spending a lot of time on like TikTok and looking at all these other girls that had had the surgery, and I was like, oh, I'm preparing myself for the worst. I came out of the surgery and like, yeah, I like didn't feel good. Like I was very uncomfortable everywhere because they like inflate your stomach up with air to like look in there. I was in heaps of pain because it kind of like
It goes up
goes
into you.
up.
Yeah.
And that was probably like the worst pain that I was experiencing. But it like probably like 2 to 3 weeks post surgery, I was trying to convince myself like I'll just get back into my normal routine and that will make me feel better. And I ended up pushing myself too far and I fainted and went to hospital.
Yeah.
So like looking back, I just should have just given myself a grace period and just let myself rest, let myself heal properly. Um, because that ended up extending my
Every time.
recovery time and
Yeah.
that just like made me feel even worse.
It's so hard as well because it's inside, so you can't see,
Mm.
right? Whereas if you had like a, I don't know,
Broken arm or
broken
whatever.
arm,
You
can
know when
not
it's better.
even though that's like you know when it's better, or like a
Mm.
cut or something. You
Yeah.
can see it actually healing. Because when
Mhm.
you're going through that, you're like, how
how long till
how
I'm
far am I
better? Yeah.
recovered now? Like,
Yeah.
can
How do
I
I
start to
know?
do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Mhm.
would be really wow. It's so interesting though. Is I've heard also some people they'll have the surgery and then, like, did you get shown on like a piece of paper with, or like some kind of like an image of what was found inside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could actually see like, and you could see it. Obviously, it's just like a bunch of random crap. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, did they show you this is the
Yes.
area?
Yes.
This is
They
what
were
we've
like,
done now.
this is what it looks
Looks
like
like
when we first went in. This is what it looks like now.
yeah,
Yeah.
good. See, because I think a lot of people like just whether they have the actual surgery whether it's just to kind of look or if it's to actually because it's through laser, isn't it? Do they still do that? Or is that like they like laser
To remove.
to remove?
cut it
Yeah,
off.
to like
Yeah,
cut it
they
off.
sort of they either like cut it or laser it.
Laser
But
it,
the
yeah.
thing with like the laser is like something like lasering, like say my fallopian tube, that would be
Oh yeah,
really
that would horrible.
dangerous.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they kind of use
Do
like
both.
both
Yeah,
methods
yeah,
depending on like the severity of it.
yeah, absolutely.
Because
Yeah,
because it's like kind of like a sticky
yeah.
sort of thing, and like some of it like forms into like clumps, but some of it's more of just like a lesion.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's so interesting to
Mm.
like see that, but it's cool that you were actually able to see like, hey, this is the two differences.
Yeah.
This was kind of like literally the before and after, right?
Mm.
Like that's really important, I think, to kind of educate on the person to be
Mm.
like, hey, like, because I think again, from I've heard some stories where people have gone in, they've had the just looking at it, not
Yeah.
even like the actual any kind of cleanup or anything, for lack of a
Mm.
better term, but and the doctor's like, yeah, you have it, and then but they actually it's not even, or it's not as bad as what's actually presenting with the symptoms that they have.
Yeah.
Not saying that like they don't have it,
Mm.
but sometimes they think that maybe, hey, what if I actually don't have it?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I guess it's again because it is so, like, how do we not know until you're in there? Like, that's crazy to me.
Mm.
It's
It's
so
crazier that
common.
they can't like see it on an
Diagnose it,
internal
yeah.
ultrasound or
Mm.
like I think they're trying to develop a
With
blood test.
Yeah,
for
they
it.
Yeah.
are. With really severe cases, they can see some of it with an internal
Sure.
ultrasound.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But you know, if you've got like a mild case, like they could do an internal ultrasound and
Mm.
like just go, oh no, you don't have it, when you
Yeah.
actually do.
Yeah. And then even with that, like, doesn't really matter. Like, it's one of those things where it doesn't really matter how much you have it.
Mm.
It's like, even if it's a little bit, it's still depending on where it is located and all
Exactly.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It can cause certain issues or
Yeah.
whatnot. But
Because like
yeah,
some people have stage 4 and go, I didn't even know I
didn't
had
even
it
know
until
Yeah.
I tried having kids and I was struggling with having kids and
Yeah.
then realized, oh, I've got endo. And then you've got people that have like stage 1 and go, oh, I've been in debilitating pain like
Yeah.
my whole life.
Yeah,
It doesn't
absolutely.
always present in the same way.
Mm.
And that's what we
No.
always like say on this podcast. Like everyone's so different.
Mm.
I think it's like an important thing to take away from like having Sophie on is like, you know, it took her 12 years to get a diagnosis. So it's like you need to like advocate for
Oh,
yourself.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
sad that that is what has to happen, but
Mm.
you need to like if you don't feel yourself, if you
Yeah.
don't feel right, even if it's the smallest thing, like even if it's just you get a really heavy period or
Mm.
you just have pain, like just push to get the answer.
Yeah.
And don't just take, it's normal as a woman to have pain. Like, don't take that as an answer.
No, not at all.
Like,
But
if you
also,
don't
like,
feel right,
do
when you don't feel
yeah,
right.
yeah, 100%. But also, like, do everything in your power to make yourself feel better as well. I think that that's really important to kind of obviously there is so much, education, but also just crap out there on like social media and everything. It can be amazing, but it could also be really like tricky where you're cutting things out that you don't really need to, or you're telling like, did you ever get? I think it's more probably of like a PCOS thing, but like that don't have carbs or try and limit these kinds of foods or anything like that,
Or
or
like keto diets.
keto diets are
like
like the
that.
better. I think
No,
it's more
I
PCOS
never
that like
got
people kind of
recommended to
yeah
do anything like that.
yeah
But at the same time, when I was exploring, do I have endometriosis, I was kind of in my early 20s and sort of wanted to get a direct answer. It wasn't even brought up when I was a teenager. Like,
yeah
oh, it could be this, so try this.
yeah
It was
yeah
just, here's a band-aid. We're not talking about anything
yeah
else.
yeah yeah. Take this
Yeah.
pill and ignore it kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah, it's crazy. I think like it is really cool to see, especially at the moment, how much education is coming out of especially the pill. Like I think, have you actually ever been thinking about all your symptoms? Have you been thinking of that you could have endo?
No, like I have taken the pill before. It was only to skip. It's so random. I took it when I was 16 to skip my period when I was in a foreign country. I was traveling no, I was traveling in like a third world country in
Yeah, we don't
Cambodia,
wanna
and I
have
didn't want to have my period on a
Yeah,
drop
no.
toilet in 45-degree heat.
Yeah.
Fair.
And then it didn't work, and then I have actually had cyst bursts on my ovaries.
Oh, so you have PCOS?
Well, not diagnosed because it's so
Again, it's
difficult.
so
But
yeah.
our mum has had cysts on her
Yeah.
ovaries, that she's had to have removed. So, like, I can get ultrasounds to check if I have cysts, but, like, it's just not something that I've done. But it was years ago that I've had it happen twice. No, 3 times. 3 times. And, like, similar sort of thing, like, I went to the hospital and they thought I had appendicitis
Yeah,
because, like,
immediately.
it's just
The
that's
type of
automatically
pain.
what they think of that type of pain. And then it wasn't until later on they're like, "Oh, you had a huge cyst, like, burst in your ovaries." I'm like, "Sweet."
Yes, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't take the pill personally. I don't like the pill just because I've seen what my sister's gone through, and even our other sister, like, she's taken it. I just don't like the idea of putting anything foreign into my body.
Yeah.
And also, like, I never had a cyst burst in my ovaries until after I took the pill.
Yeah.
So it's like, did that cause that?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. So I just don't personally like it. Like, obviously, everyone can do it for their own reasons, and
Yeah.
whether it's to manage pain or contraception, obviously. But personally, I don't
I think I've been
like
really
the idea of the
lucky
pill.
in my life for that kind of thing. I've literally been on the pill since I was like, I don't know, 'cause I had irregular periods when I was like a young like first, but I think that nothing's really regular when you first get your
Yeah.
right. But again, went to the doctor, got on the pill, and I literally had no issues.
See, well, like, we're sisters and we're so different.
So
Like,
different.
I didn't get my period until I was 15.
Yeah.
And so it was 11. And then
Yeah.
I get I get the very typical period. Like,
Yeah.
it's, 4 or 5 days every month.
Mm.
I do get pain like first 2 days, but then it's like manageable.
Mm.
So it's like we're very different.
Yeah.
Even though
And
we're
I even
sisters.
remember being in high school, like having those conversations with my friends and being like, yeah, my period lasts forever and it's
Yeah.
so
And
painful.
you're
And
like, I'm changing my pad every hour. and I
no
get
one
like,
was having a similar experience to me. And I was like,
Which makes you feel so much more isolated. Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you?
yeah. And it was kind of like
And then-
embarrassing as well.
Yeah.
Like,
and then Mia and I as well. Like, and I remember like when because we grew up like always going to the beach and going on family holidays, and
Yeah.
Sophie being like, I don't want to go because
Yeah.
I'm
Half of
literally
your
like
life,
bleeding.
literally.
yeah.
Or
Right?
she'd wear she'd wear black board shorts because she was so scared about bleeding through her pants
Yeah.
because she was like so embarrassed. She was only like dealing with that at like 13.
13.
Even 12 is just like crazy to me. So it's a huge thing to experience, and especially like you said, if no one around you is going through that, like our older sister, she couldn't go to our older sister for advice, or even our mum because
Yeah.
they
Different
had
experience.
perfect experiences.
Yeah.
So it can be super isolating, but that's what's so great about like you coming on this podcast, people
Yeah.
listening to it, and then research and just like people being more open to education around endo is really good.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming
Thanks for having
on.
me.
Our first guest.
Yeah.
Woo! I wonder what Mia's going to say. This
Yeah.
is I didn't tell her that Sophie was coming.
Oh, really?
She's like,
be like,
wow, you should have got me first.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, no, she is coming on, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and we will get the boys.
Yeah.
We keep saying it. We think we've been saying that for the entire.
Get our boyfriends on. Well, we'll get
I
her
think
fiance on.
Yeah,
before
all right.
that
He's your
comes on.
biggest fan.
Noah
Yeah.
is our number one fan.
That's so good. Yeah.
Shout out Noah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's listening to this episode
Yeah.
in particular. But yeah, thanks so much, guys, for listening. We hope you enjoyed a bit of a different episode. If you have any questions, like follow-up questions for Sophie, you can
Yeah,
and
shoot them my
I'll make
way.
her answer them. Or I'll answer them on her behalf next
Yeah.
week. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.